Has agreed to delay the implementation of the new laws regarding the tax treatment of retirement fund contributions and the harmonisation of the annuitisation regime. This follows a request from Labour to allow for further consultations between government and National Economic Development and Labour Council Nedlac on social security reform. The changes, which were introduced by the Tax Laws Amendment Act of 2013, Aitchison from Old Mutual joins us in studio to discuss the delays. Now, Craig, good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening.
Craig, firstly, your response to today's medium-term budget statement by Finance Minister Nedlac as business, were there any surprises?
I think if there were any surprises, they were positive. It was very good to see the Finance Minister coming out very clearly on his position and taking a very strong stance around controlling expenditure. I think that was very good. And I think particularly for the situation the Finance Minister found himself in, and given that it was his very first budget announcement, I think it was well done.
Now, the Minister has also emphasised the need for people to pay their taxes, as he explains their importance in the following clip that we're going to listen to just now.
Taxes have to be paid and municipal bills must be collected. So let me again express appreciation. Let me express appreciation to the many South Africans who pay their taxes and bills on time.
Now, why is tax collection important for government, and how do we arrest the challenge of the eroding tax pool versus the growing government spending?
Well, for the government to be able to grow our country and to grow the services, improve service delivery, and also improve the social security for everyone in the country, that obviously all requires funding, and that funding comes from taxes. So as our country grows and our economy grows, we want to see infrastructure improve. We want to know that there's better financial security, and that's all going to be paid for out of growing taxes. And that's why it's important then that we, as the Minister says, we pay our taxes that are due, and that government does play a role in ensuring that that's done.
Now, moving on, what are your views of the delay in the implementation of retirement reforms?
Well, I think that the delay that we've seen now, where the proposed tax changes that were meant to come through next year in March, the so-called T-Day, is a little bit unfortunate in that those proposals and proposed changes were very positive. Remember that the aim of retirement reform is to help us as a country to get better at long-term saving and saving for retirement, and to improve the amount of income and security we have in retirement. And these reforms were a good, concrete first step towards that. So it certainly is our hope that this period that's been requested for further consultation and discussion, which I think is good and is needed, but we hope that period doesn't stretch too long so that the overall progress of retirement reform can continue.
Now, Craig, can you just, there are also proposed changes that are going ahead with effect from the 1st of March in 2015. What are those changes?
There's a couple of changes that will impact people. One of them is to do with disability insurance. So if you are currently part of a pension or provident fund, and that fund offers disability insurance, today the way that works is your contribution is not taxed, but when you claim that benefit, should you become disabled, you then pay income tax on the benefit. Going forward from March next year, that'll change. And what will happen is the contribution made, the premium paid for that disability insurance is now deemed a benefit, and that means that we'll all pay some tax on that. Now when you do the numbers, you'll find that the amount of tax is actually quite small. Those premiums are often in the region of 1%, maybe 1.5% of our salary, so it's tax on that 1% of salary. The benefit, though, is that if you are disabled and you then claim that benefit, it will now be free of tax, and so there'll be no income tax to pay on that benefit. So that's one of the changes that's coming through. And then the other one is around your retirement benefits. So right now, when you retire from a pension or provident fund, that fund has a set date normally that you retire at. You can retire a little early, but at that date you must retire and take your money. There's no flexibility about that. And that doesn't help people who perhaps want to stop working, maybe formally, but leave their money in the fund to grow a little bit more before they actually take it as a pension. And what government is proposing from next year is that actually they be allowed that flexibility, that even though they may have retired from a fund, they can still leave their money there, let it grow some more, and when they're ready, actually take the money as a pension. So that's certainly a positive development and will help people just to close that gap and stretch their retirement savings a little bit further.
Now, Craig, in summary, just quickly, what in your view necessitated these and who stand to benefit?
Well, I think when you look at the statistics about how many people retire successfully in our country, you see that it's a very low percentage. And really, that's the issue government's trying to address. Government wants a situation, which we all do, where if you've had the opportunity to work, that you then retire comfortably and on a satisfactory income. And that's something that applies to just about all of us.
Craig, thank you so much for joining us. And that was Craig Aitchison, General Manager Corporate Customer Solutions at Old Mutual.